Question?
Oh, yes.
Some students say whatever money that they do have, they gotta put it toward going to school, so they gotta make that choice.
Yeah. There's some other reasons as well.
Yeah, so with parental job loss, so when it comes to, you know, full-time employment, that's really important, especially if you want like your child to go to school and everything. So families who already are on a lower income bracket, they find themselves in a disastrous situation when they do lose their jobs. 20% of unemployed homeless parents had lost their jobs within the last 6 months, which is nearly 3 times the percentage reported in 2003. So, I mean, it's kind of common sense, like when if you do lose your full-time job as a parent, how do you support for your child that does want to go to college? So that does factor into being homeless as a college student. Lack of affordable housing, so there's a gap between minimum wage and cost of housing has grown very expensive. As we said, rent has gone up in the past few years. Unfortunately, the reality is a full-time minimum wage job, you can't live off of that, like even in a one-bedroom apartment. And I live in Queens, and even then, Queens is like, it's so expensive to live there these days. So 40% reported leaving their last home because they just couldn't afford the rent in the past year. So, and then family and parental conflicts. So an inability to continue living with their family has forced them into unstable situations. So whether severe family conflict, violence, neglect, substance abuse, or mental health issues, being homeless is lesser evil for some children. So sometimes kids they see their families in these situations, or they undergo situations that they just don't want to be in that place anymore. So they run away from home, or they just think they can live off the streets, live a better life, anything better than living in their household and going through anything traumatic. So those would be the reasons as to why college students may go through some homelessness.
So we have a video that explains students that have experienced homelessness and how they've overcome this experience as well.
But we're just gonna show like how they experience it, because this video is 10 minutes long.
I never thought I'd be homeless. It felt like it was us against the world. Coming to San Francisco, we had all these high hopes. We were like, yeah, we have this great place, it's beautiful, we're so excited, you know. We had all these hopes, and then we came out here and we were just like, damn, it's really hard. Housing has been pretty difficult to come by. I first moved out here and I found a place with a friend who lived off campus, but then she got evicted, so we both had to leave or pay like $1,000 just to stay another night. So we're just kind of like walking the street. One of our friends offered to let us keep our stuff at her house while we like moved around back and forth to school, and we were able to spend some nights with her, but not all the time. Sometimes we wouldn't have anywhere to go, so we would just kind of wander around school, wait until our friend would be like, hey, you can come over. It was really difficult.
Ever since I graduated high school at the age of 18, I was actually homeless. What's kind of led to me to this point was stress. I think the amount of stress of working and going to school at the same time was taking its toll on me. So by this year, I started living in the homeless shelter. The weight I was carrying was just too much for me. Even the semester before, I was having some trouble. I take medication, and I was living in a living room, which was stressful, like working the logistics out for me, and coming home late and from work, and trying to manage my health on top of my school and academics and music.
Okay, so we're going to stop it here. We don't have enough time to go over the whole thing. So there are certain types of homeless college students. So there are some people that just are very vague, let's say, about talking about where they live right now or what's going on in their life. There are also students that live with see college as their home. And they may come here very early in the morning and leave very late because they have nowhere else to stay during that time. So those are the kinds of different college students that you may see. But it's important to just never assume that you think someone has a home. So it's important to look at these factors as well, different surveying John Jay last year that asked.
No, I did
You
that
took it?
survey. No,
Huh?
so at John Jay, we have a subcommittee for homeless students, and part of the Honors Program initiative was to have the survey created so we could get more funding at the Wellness Center to help students be able to seek resources, so that's what.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So these are the responses that we got. So a lot of them did have experience with difficulty paying rent, and as we know, that can be a huge factor in being on the verge of becoming homeless. Only 100 people did this survey, and 68% said that they didn't have any insecurities, but still 26% is a large amount of people that feel as if they have a lot of difficulty paying for rent. And here's a survey, I'm not going to click on it, but it says that it was mostly sophomores and juniors that had this experience with having difficulty paying rent. It wasn't much seniors or freshmen. Do you guys have any thoughts about this?
Probably.
Any reactions to finding out that that there are people in the school that are homeless or at the verge of being homeless?
Yeah.
I mean, when you said about like, it's like the sophomores and the juniors, like, usually, you know, when you start off as freshmen, you know, you have like a different idea of college, you know, you come in having a plan, and then by, I don't know, like sophomore, and I've had this experience too, by like sophomore, junior year, you start like anticipating and having anxiety. It's like, all right, maybe the things that I have planned out are not going to be as planned out as I thought it would be. And then maybe by senior year, you probably have the things, right, like by senior year, you probably have it all fixed out, but not in the way that you wanted to,
Right.
probably,
Exactly.
so, yeah.
Any other reactions to finding out that there are students that are at the verge of homelessness at John Jay? So we're gonna have our guest speaker now talk about his experience. Yeah.
Okay. How you doing? My name is Alan Navarro. I wanna thank you actually for allowing me to speak here in front of you guys. So what happened to me was that when I was 18, I graduated from Richmond Hill High School and I joined the U.S. Army. At the same time, I decided to get married, very young. And then by 2009, as soon as I graduated from the Army basic training and the AIT, I was shipped to Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, I was in charge of supplying the west side of the country with food, ammo, with weapons, and stuff like that. When I came back home, I saved enough money to open myself a Blockbuster. So I was 18 going to 19 years old with my own business. I had a lot of money from this deployment and I invested it well. With $12,000, I actually made $118,000. It was doing great. And, but I didn't notice in myself when I came back that I was suffering from PTSD. How did I learn that? Well, I was driving my own vehicle back home. I was scared of the other vehicles right next to me. I don't know why I thought that they were gonna blow up for some reason. All of a sudden, I stopped in the middle of the expressway and I started crying. I started crying and I felt this urge to going back to Afghanistan. That's when I knew that I was going through something and I wanted to help. So I started looking for help, and at that moment, my business started going down. I had problems with my ex-wife. Then my daughter was born, and unfortunately, Netflix came out. Netflix killed the Blockbuster franchise. So therefore, I had no job. I lost my $118,000 completely. I had no money to pay my own rent. So therefore, I decided to move with my mother in New Jersey. I was looking for a job. I was trying to get a job. I was dealing with my PTSD. I was dealing with my own issues, with my relationship with a newborn, and as you know, as I'm telling you, everything went down to hell. I didn't know what I was into. Then I couldn't find a job for 6 months. My mom started asking me for rent. I was living there, I was eating there, my family was there. It was reasonable. I couldn't find a job, so I couldn't pay her. She asked me to move out. I didn't know where. I didn't have any other family here. So what I did was I told my wife, that my ex-wife, that it was going to be better if she stayed at my mom's house, and I would go to New York with an Army unit that was looking for somebody with my skills at that moment. The problem was going back and forth from New York to New Jersey. There's a lot of money, gas tolls. I wasn't paying any of my bills at the moment, so I was in debt with $50,000. Then my wife decided to leave me. She left me. She moved to Ecuador. She took my daughter with her, and I was in hell. What I did was I started sleeping on my own vehicle for a few months. I moved to New York from New Jersey, but I didn't have a place to stay, so I started sleeping on my own vehicle. With the Army, it's funny because I was working there for a month, but you don't get paid until 11 days after your month. So it was really hard for me during that whole month and 11 days because I didn't have money to gas, to buy me anything to shower or to eat, so I was eating inside the Army unit or something that is called an MRE, which is meal ready to eat. It's disgusting. After that, I saw myself that if I don't do something, I was gonna go crazy. So I decided to apply for something that is called a HABASH. The HABASH program helps the veterans that are homeless with food money, with Metro card, with half of your rent. The only problem with that is that I never went to a shelter. So the policy was that I was supposed to stay in a shelter for at least 2 days before they can process me in order to obtain these benefits. I didn't want to go to a shelter. So I did not do that program. What I did was I joined college. I used my post-9/11 GI Bill, which they only give you a lot of money just for going to school. So that's what I did. I found myself a job, and I started adding my own money. I rent a hotel room, well, a motel room, and after that, everything is history. When I graduated from La Guardia Community College with an associate's in criminal justice, I moved here. It took me 4 years to get a two-year associate, and after that I moved here and I became the president of the ICJ Club. I have an internship with New York State Senator Jose Peralta, and I also have an internship with Congressman Crowley. So if you ever feel that you're going through a tough situation, I feel you. But you can get through. I went through hell. I pushed it forward. I lost my family. I saved enough money to take my daughter back. So now she is with me. So that was good. But it was really hell. And if you're going through something like that, or if you know somebody that's going through something like that, I don't know. There is a lot of information that they can give you. There's a lot of information that you can get from the Women's Center. I would recommend to go there and seek that information. I am going to apply for CUNY Law School, so I think it went pretty good from where I was since 2008.
Alright, so we're gonna wrap it up because we didn't realize how much little time we had. So really quickly, this is how homelessness affects your wellness, meaning physical, mental, or even academic. Mentally, you undergo stress. Physically, there's high rates of hypertension, asthma, diabetes, HIV, AIDS, and then academically, students who are homelessness undergo, they're twice as likely to have a learning disability, repeat a grade, or they end up just dropping out and being suspended.
And also hunger plays a big role into this. Obviously, if you're not eating, you're not getting any nutrition, and it becomes harder to focus on your grades and on your schoolwork. So that's another reason as well that how homelessness can affect your well-being. And as we stated earlier, also substance abuse can also lead to this. A lot of people turn into using drugs and alcohol to stop thinking about what they're going through and everything, and that also obviously affects their well-being. Yes.
So these are all hope for those who are on the verge of homelessness. So as our speaker said, there is hope. Well, more research is needed to paint a full picture before it's shown that homelessness youth age between 18 to 24, they're able to stay in school are overwhelmingly successful at avoiding homelessness once they complete their degrees. So like he said, there's a lot of programs that do reach out. They can help you out if you're going through homelessness. And currently, the goal is for any homeless children or youth or families by 2020 that hopefully that number does decrease over time. That was a video of someone who did graduate going through so much, but we had a very well guest speaker who just explained his experience, so that's fine.
So these are a few resources here at John Jay and that I know of. So we have the Peer Counseling and Wellness Center, as Sandra said. We also have FAFSA. We have John Jay's food pantry, which not a lot of people know about. Does anyone here know about John Jay?
So basically, the application's really simple. You just come in, you answer a few questions, they interview you for like 3 minutes, and then there's a schedule from Monday through Thursday on the hours that you can come in, pick up food.
Thank you so much for giving us that information. We also have John Jay Single Stop. Does anyone else know about that? No? Yes? Say it. Answer it.
Do you know?
It's fine.
So yeah, they provide students with food, with clothing, emergency housing, and different toiletries as well. There's also here 2 websites that I found that offer cheap apartments for college students. So there's sublet.com, studenthousing.com, and there's also the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, retiring from that. You want to speak more about that?
So it's also just a website. You do apply. They help out any youths that are going through severe homelessness. Yeah, if you want to check out that website.
So since we don't have much time, I'm just going to go over where I'm interning right now at the door. And one of the main things that they work for is providing people 12 to 24 ages, or sometimes a little more, with services in regards to homelessness. So what they have there is you come in, you do an intake by intake counselor, which is what I do, and you see what kinds of services they need, and they talk to you a little bit about what they're going through in their life, and then you go to them to the drop-in services office, which provides them with a case manager, food, clothing, there's showers, there's laundry, there's those services that they have there. And there's also free counseling there, there's free health services, you can see a doctor for your eyes, for your dentist, everything is free. They also help you apply for different medical insurances. There's free legal services, so we have a lot of immigration cases, and a lot of people are undocumented, and they help you set up with anything in regards to immigration to help with your case. And food stamps, they also help you with that kind of thing.